Good morning. Wherever you are, we are on day 3 of the 7-day team building Masterclass challenge. As you will remember, we have 7 areas for building a team. We've been through common goal, we've been through strong leadership. Now we're on to rules of the game. Now, you have to have strong rules of the game, but this is really about your culture. Now, here's the deal about culture. If you don't define your culture, if you and your team don't define your culture, then someone else will. Your employees will do it, your customers will do it, someone else will define your culture. So I think it's a better idea if you define your own culture. So here's the deal. There's a way to do it to get started with it. And then I'm going to go over a bit of a way to do it with your team to help you understand to do it better. So the first thing is, and this is the way to do it, you just get out a sheet of paper and you want to write down values. Your culture is about values. It's about creating the proper beliefs, about creating the proper, what are the beliefs, what is important to the team? Like what are the behaviors that are going to be important to the team? So values and behaviors is what we're talking about here. Okay? So when you sit down to write your culture, you want to write down your values. And so you start with your values. So what I recommend is you get out a sheet of paper and you write down 3 values that are important to you as the business owner or the team leader. What are 3 values that are important to you as the business owner? And you write them down. And those might be, integrity or profit or things like that that are important to you as the owner. Now, then you want to get 3 values that are important to the team. So that might be respect, treating each other with respect, things like that. So you can Google, you can get a whole list of values. I have a value sheet. If you'd like a value, just hit me up. I will send it to you. Give it to, just give me the values, whatever. If you want the value sheet, just send me an email and I'll give it to you. All right. Then you write down 3 values that are important to your customers. Like what's important to them? What are some of the things? Now, understand that the values will likely overlap. So what we're after here is 12 values to begin looking at it. Now, if you'd like a copy of our culture statement, which actually has 14 values on it, so you want to write them down. Okay, we'll get them written down. Now, then you want to do 3 more values that are important to the business as a whole. So when you're defining your culture, you'll end up with 12 values. You have the owner's values, the team's values, the customer's values, and the business's values. So now, then what you have to do is you have to spend a little bit of time describing what that means. Because a word might mean different things to different people. So if you come up with respect, what does that mean to you? You have to explain it. So you'll write a paragraph or a short statement about what that means, about what it doesn't mean and what it does. A good way to do it is, the away from goal. Like it doesn't mean, we don't talk down to people. We treat everybody as equals. So that could be, one of your values in there. So that's the first thing. You have to define the culture statement. Then once you define it, then I would suggest that you have a team meeting. And what you do in the team meeting is you don't go over this with them yet. You go over, the way I do it is I will say, all right, what would have to happen if we wanted to put this business out of business in 6 months? And we write down all that stuff. And obviously what we're looking for is the opposite of that. Okay? And then we flip it over and we say, all right, what would happen if we wanted to double the business in the next year? What would we have to do? And you write down all those things. And you start getting a list. And then you see how they compare with your initial list. And then you come up with basically a culture. Now, the vision of the business has to come from you as the owner. The culture of the business will be done with your team. okay? Because then you're going to come up with a series of behaviors that will match, or values and behaviors that will match this. So your assignment's pretty simple. To determine your culture, you go out and you write down your 12 areas. You get 3 for the owner, 3 for the team, 3 for the customers, 3 for the business. I know we said we'd take 30 minutes for these things, but this will probably give you enough work so you can take the next 20 minutes and work through what your culture should be. Because remember, if you don't define your culture, your team likely will, and you don't want the inmates running the company. So I know that's a bad example. You don't want your team telling you how to run your company. You want to run your company the way you want to run it. You want to create the culture. You want to create the atmosphere to work in that way. So your home fun, go out. 3 values that are important to you as the owner, 3 values that are important to your team, 3 values that are important to your customers, and 3 values that are important to your business. And then for your home fun, once you've got that done, then you want to start describing what those values mean to you. Like I said, if you need a list of values, then just shoot me an email and we'll talk to you about it. Now, I'm also going to post with this post a link to my calendar, because we should be at a point now where you're starting to have some questions. I'm doing general principles here. It's like epoxy glue. There's 2 parts to epoxy glue, and it doesn't work if you don't put them together. This is giving you general principles, but every business is, and which applies to every business. But your business is not the same as every business. And so your business has special needs. You're building your team. So if you'd like to have a bit of a chat, I'm going to suggest that you do have a bit of a chat with me, a strategy session, a short strategy session. I'll put a link below this video when I post it in the group, and you'll be able to go ahead and book yourself in for a strategy session with me. It's free. We're going to talk about where you are, where you want to go, what kind of challenges you're having with your team, and how to go ahead and build the team of your dreams. So book yourself in for a strategy session. I look forward to seeing you then. Until next time, all the best.